Ibrahim Traore is doing a big revelation on Benin and Ivory Coast. Listen to this video.
There truly is, in Abidjan, an operation center aimed at destabilizing our country. No one can deny it, and we will provide the evidence in the coming days. We will show you physical proof. You will understand what we are talking about. No one will come and tell us that in Benin, there is no French base directed against us. We have the evidence at hand. 2 major bases. No one can dispute this. And I challenge anyone to do so. We have nothing against the people of Benin. Our issue is with the policies of Beninese leaders. And we say this loud and clear. Furthermore, some runways have been extended to over 3,000 meters. In length, planes are landing, and people are equipping and training terrorists there. We have audio recordings of French agents in Benin who are acting as the operation center for the terrorists. They plan operations with them, help them get medical care. They do everything there. We have all the details about them. And you don't want us to tell our people about it? We are going to say it. If they don't want us to, then they should stop behaving this way.
My question is, once Burkina Faso managed to get rid of those bad people, where do you think they will go? Because you guys share border with Burkina Faso, obviously they will go to your country and destroy your country, terrorize your people. Why don't you come together and fight the enemy together? Get rid of the enemy. Because they will end up in your countries, let's be honest. And another question, who is the one providing those bad people with such equipment? We need to find out.
This is the person who arranged all the attacks that are happening in Burkina Faso. Can you believe this? This guy is working with the West. He received money from the West and then distribute to all these terrorists and then plan where these people they are supposed to go and who they are supposed to attack. Can you believe this? They were hiding in a camp thinking that nobody's going to find them. 500 of the terrorists were arrested and 100 they were unalive because they tried to fight back. The government also confirmed that this is not a Burkina Faso citizen. He was brought there by a very powerful person. And that's not even the only thing. They were also smuggling oil all the way from Ouagadougou to the northern part of Burkina Faso to their camp. This oil is supposed to fuel their motorbikes. All these motorbikes they got from they were imported to Burkina Faso. So this is how they used to fuel all their motorbikes. There is someone who is supplying them with the oil and then they will take this oil all the way from Ouagadougou to their camp in the northern part of Burkina Faso. All this is oil in the container. So the government is doing some investigation to find out the exact person who is supplying this oil and also to find out the leader, the person who brought this guy back and who he is.
The United States just said they won't be friends with any African country that gets too close to China. Yes, you heard that right. They even called out Kenya directly. Why? Because Kenya cancelled a major deal with France. France tried to change the rules last minute and demanded more money. But President William Ruto said no. I scrapped the French deal and handed it over to China instead. Now the West is furious. They're asking, why are African countries turning to China, Russia, and even North Korea? I'll tell you why. Because Africa is tired of being robbed, bullied, and disrespected. We're finally saying no to Western domination. We're choosing real partners, ones who don't demand our resources for crumbs. And that scares them. Because for the first time in decades, Africa is uniting. They know they're losing control. And now they're trying to threaten us into silence. But it won't work. We see through it. We've woken up. So please like, comment, and share this video to expose the West's fear. Let's keep debunking the propaganda. Let's protect Africa's future. Africa rises, the world can't stop it.
Take a look at this. Member of the terrorist group in Burkina Faso, they unalived him a few days ago. Take a look at the small boy. One of those people terrorizing Burkina Faso. This boy is not up to 15 years. Take a look at him. Carrying most sophisticated weapons, terrorizing Burkina Faso. Kudos to Burkina Faso soldiers. Take a look at the boy we are talking about. See, We know that there are still many good people among this tribe, Fulanis, but I still don't understand why Western leaders, the sponsors, easily manipulate this tribe to be destabilizing, terrorizing their own continent, Africa. Take a look at this small boy. Illiteracy is the problem. Education is very, very important, because if these children, if all of them are educated, they won't have been terrorizing their own continent because of peanuts that Western leaders used to give to them. Now they're on our life team. He on don't go like this, like this, like this. Take a look at this tribe. You guys should go back, cross-check, educate your people. Check it. All these terrorists terrorizing the whole Africa, they are all Fulanis. 99.9% of them are Fulanis. Nobody hates you guys, but we are telling you people the real fact. Go back, educate your people. Take a look at this boy that's supposed to be in school. They are carrying AK-47, sophisticated weapons, all alive innocent people, destabilizing the whole Africa. Here in Nigeria, in Mali, in Nigeria, in Burkina Faso, all over Africa, Sahel, this tribe, they are easily manipulated. Why?
Why are the Americans threatening Burkina Faso? Why is Trump going to back for the French and going after this guy? Why is the head of the U.S. AFRICOM, the Africa Command, talking about the need to secure Burkina Faso's resources? Because this guy is the boogeyman to European imperialism. He's a young black African Muslim Marxist who is digging out the French deep state in Africa. French colonialism never ended in Africa. The French have a very effective deep state in Africa. Through the banking system, through fake ownership of the natural resources of Africa, they have been able to maintain economic and political and military control over much of their former colonies. Most of the wealth of France is still stolen from Africa. The gold that fills their banks, the uranium that powers their metropolis, all of this is looted from Africa. When they pulled out, they installed a deep state with corrupt rulers that they could pay off in order to get resources for practically nothing. And Traore is ending that system. French created a banking system for Africa that gives France basic entire control over those nations' economies. The Africans actually have to borrow their own money at interest from France. And the gold mines, the uranium mines, all the natural resources in these countries are treated as French property, and Traore has been making them property of the Burkinabe people. And as leader of the Alliance of Sahel states, his neighbors have been joining in on it. France has been getting driven out of Africa. Some good information on it. Check out the Al Jazeera documentary, The Gold Mafia, from Al Jazeera Investigates, or this Caspian Report video about how the French bank basically owns a bunch of African countries. Now, while Trump probably does not have any direct financial interest in the French Empire, there's what they always called the threat of a good example. The reason they tried to kill Fidel Castro so many times and blockaded Cuba was not just because of the loss of the banana fields and sugarcane fields. It was that if driving imperialism out of a country improves the standard of living in that country, then there's the threat of a good example of other countries replicating. So any country that dared to defy imperialism had to be severely punished. And what Brother Ibrahim has been doing and the Alliance of Sahel states have been doing has been improving the standard of living in their countries by using those resources for those countries, and that is a threat to imperialism worldwide. There's been something like 20 or 21 coup attempts or assassination attempts on him so far, and they're not going to stop. This guy is perhaps the single greatest threat to the imperialist world order right now. Tomorrow, April 30th, there's supposed to be a continent-wide protest for him across Africa. His cause is being taken up all over the continent, and it is a wonderful thing.
President Traore is standing up. He is saying the natural resources in Burkina Faso, they belong to the people of Burkina Faso. Niger is doing the same thing. Mali is doing the same thing. Every leader must look at what's happening in the Sahel nations to say, like anybody else, you must take care of your people. You have your natural resources. You have everything you need to take care of your people. Why do you continue to be beggars? Look at what is being brought in by not only USAID, but all the NGOs in your country. It's
my diplomatic friend Ibrahim Traore, the president of Burkina Faso. I am pleading to you to accept my invitation at this time. I, Donald Trump, and Americans don't have any negative interest against. You are your citizens in Burkina Faso. I just want us to meet and have a discussion on how to support your country's developments and also to strengthen our diplomatic friendships as countries.
Mona see wetin this Oyibo man dey talk. He say Africa na where go fit survive the world and they no go ever let Africa go. He say if na to dey call collect Africa oil or to call collect Africa gold for the world to take dey okay, he say then so be it. He say they no go ever let Africa go. He say Africa need to remain like this for the world to survive. Make una just watch wetin this guy dey talk. Mona watch am, mona see say all this Oyibo, all the colonials, they no even get good intention for Africa. Mona just see wetin they talk. Mona watch am.
Sub-Saharan Africa has been fundamental to the global prosperity of the advanced countries. Okay? And Africa had a role to play. It has a role as a raw material producer. We will not allow Sub-Saharan Africa to escape that. Okay? We do everything to keep Sub-Saharan Africa where it is, also impoverished. It's absolutely vital for the prosperity of everyone else. So let's get clear about that. Okay? And this means all the economic structures, all the global institutions, and the economics we teach everyone is all designed to keep Africa exactly where it is. And whether it is Europe or US or now China, it's always the same. We need Africa to be impoverished, because we need those raw materials and we need them dirt cheap.
In Burkina Faso, over 200 Burkina Faso soldiers have been ambushed and liquidated by Al-Qaeda affiliates in the Sahel, killing 200 Burkina Faso soldiers. Now look at the timing of this. The president of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore, visited Russia, and upon coming back, he's seen this happening. They are trying to weaken the resolve of the Burkinabe army. They are trying to weaken the resolve of the Burkina Faso people by doing this. Well, we know the people on the ground. The Western Europeans, particularly France and America, are there on the ground providing intelligence to some of these cells on when to move, the location of soldiers, and so on and so forth. This is why it is extremely difficult for these African soldiers to be able to mount any sustained attack on these terrorists. We are also seeing that as well in Nigeria. These Islamic State groups, as they call them, or whether it's Mujao or Al-Moabitun, most of these groups are getting intelligence from somewhere. They have eyes in the sky, they can see the movement of troops, and who the hell is providing them with this intelligence in Africa? It is definitely not the countries in Africa. It is those on the ground that have the access to this information, those on the ground that have access to aerial intelligence, that are providing these terrorists with intelligence to ambush and attack and kill Burkinabe soldiers. Let's not forget that this also happened in Mali last year, or the beginning of this year, when it was alleged that Ukraine provided intelligence to the same groups that went in and slaughtered over 60 Malian troops. And this has been happening consistently on the continent of Africa, particularly in the Sahel. They want to drive out the Russians, but they are targeting and killing African soldiers in order to do so. Let's not forget that at the beginning of, I think towards the end of last month, there was an attempt of a military coup in Burkina Faso, and we have seen 19 of this kind of attempts in order to remove Ibrahim Traore. As we speak today, Ibrahim Traore is one of the most important leaders in Africa and one of the most important and symbolic leaders in the global south. Why? Because he's not afraid. He took a stance against the West and said, I've had enough. You guys get out of my country, and this is why they want him gone. And in order to do so, they are targeting the soldiers, killing them, liquidating them in order to dampen the morale of other troops on the field, by proliferating these arms in the region, particularly the Sahel of Africa. And we in Africa must dig in. We must keep our resolve. We must insist that we are done with imperialism. We are done with the presence of these multinationals acting on behalf of their states, whether it's states in Europe or even the United States. We have had enough. And we in Africa also deserve some dignity and freedom. These guys should not come and dictate to us what to do. who we can be friends with, and how we can act in Africa. Enough is enough. And this is why, like I said, the Europeans and America, and they have said it openly, they want Ibrahim Traore out. They want him gone. Because to them, he's serving the interest of Russia and China, and they want America. So it's a geopolitical game for them. And for us in Africa, it is about our young men and women losing their lives every day in order for the West to, to gain advantage on the ground in Africa or to serve their own interest.
I am not yet convinced that America and France have given up on unaliving Ibrahim Traore. The reason why I'm saying it is because of this recent post that was posted by BBC. They reported that Ibrahim Traore unalive 130 civilians, says Human Rights Watch. Who is the Human Rights Watch? Does that mean that we the Africans, we cannot wash ourselves? Beside that, why do you want to bring such a negative news to us? How do you want us to feel about Ibrahim Traore? All the Google things that this young man have done for his country, why are you not reporting it to us? Okay, immediately I saw the news, I decided to go into the comment section and see what my fellow brothers, Africans, feel about the report. Guess what? I was so amazed because I realized that a lot of people have woken up even more than I thought. Many people even go extreme to the extent of reporting BBC page. Oh my God, that was a nice one. That was a nice one. We are grown enough. We are African. We don't come to America or Europe, start telling them what is wrong or what is bad, or which leader is wrong, which leader is bad. I've been in Germany for a lot of years. There are just some things that does not pass with me. But anytime I complain, I hear the citizens, as in the Germans, they will tell me, if you don't like it, go back to your country. If you don't like it, go back to Africa. That is what they say to us. But why are you guys so concerned about what is happening in Africa? Besides that, we have been friends for thousands of years and you guys couldn't take us anywhere. All you guys brought to us was misleading and destruction.
The ANC has been in charge for too long. What do they have to show for it? RDP houses and SARSA grants, a few connected millionaires involved in corrupt BEE deals. This is way less than what South Africans expected. It's certainly way less than what the Black Business Council in the built environment expected.
We've realized that people are saying 30 years into democracy, what is it that we have achieved? But when you check that some of the issues, we can no longer blame apartheid. From 1994, the black government was ushered in, and if we failed for the past 30 years, we only have ourselves to blame. The implementers of these acts and regulations, they are our brothers and sisters whom we have trust and have invested our confidence in them, believing that because they understand where they come from, they will act with speed and with emergency to make sure that the transformation goals, they are realized.
You know what? It's great to hear more people publicly admit the facts that many whisper behind closed doors. Well done to Danny and his council for finally speaking up. It's true that the people that have been in charge of all the taxes paid in this country since '94 are black. They are so-called brothers and sisters to all black people. And because of that, many assume that they would really be determined and committed to seeing true and genuine transformation in the lives of black people. That is from the oppression and exclusion they experienced under apartheid to opportunities, upliftment, and empowerment post-apartheid. Unfortunately, repeatedly, time and time again, the ANC has proven that they have no interest in positively transforming the lives of black South Africans or any South Africans for that matter, except those that they are connected to, of course. What we have come to know is the fact that being the same color as someone does not mean that that person has your best interest at heart. Just because they call themselves black liberators does not mean they're actually here to liberate you. If anything, many call themselves black liberators in order to imprint in your minds and hearts that they are forever owed a debt of gratitude for liberating you as a black person.
This young boy, within just 6 months, has commissioned 18 factories. 18! They build cars in Burkina. They are building their own tomato. They don't import anything. First thing he did, he closed the borders. Nobody should come here. Nobody should come here. Do you think that Chinese can go to this boy's backyard and go and do galamsey? This boy came to Ghana and shook your president with a pistol. It's a statement. Nobody fools around. You fool around, we blow your head apart. We don't care about law. We are here to develop our nation, to help people. This guy here walked to your president with a gun on his side. It's a statement. You people bring Chinese from places. Go to Takwa, Bogoso, Prisia, Chebi, and go and see the madness of your Christianity. Some boys in Naibiko Presby, Alabasta, Pentecost, CAC, your bottom. And I'm not saying your bottom keke. I'm saying your bottom by Jeremiah 51 verse 7. Your bottom. Moya papa. Moya papa. Moya papa mkenyeni. This boy know how he can boldly tell Burkina Faso, there is no need to travel to America. We are creating America here. Every young man, this boy, regional minister, regional minister, be 8 years ago. Are you people okay? And this boy, for your information, is a Muslim. Only communion da. Mason could be da. I want to hear. Tell me the meaning of your noise. What the answer was here? Sorry. That is Christianity. I am a Christian time, Papa. I'm telling you, at time, Papa. Sorry, but now we are going to go so. Time, Papa.
There is one thing in Europe right now that nobody is talking about, but this thing can change a future wealth of Europe for the next couple of decades. So I will try to explain you. Now it's the war between Russia and Ukraine, and do you know what is the main problem with this war? This is not about gas, this is not about Ukrainian refugees, this is not about money that Europe is sending to Ukraine, and this is not about money that Ukraine will invest into military instead of investing in medicine or something else. This is not about these four things. The most dangerous thing is that Europe is destroying fundamentals of Europe at the moment. So the main, proposal from Europe to another world was, we will store your money, you can, if you are wealthy enough, bring your money to Europe, and you can invest, you can be safe, your money will be safe, we are protecting human rights, and etc, etc, etc. And what was happening? The most wealthiest people from all over the world trying to store their money in Europe, try to invest their money in Europe, try to buy some property in Europe. So all Russian oligarchs, not only Russian oligarchs, but all the wealthiest people of China, of all over the Africa, Arabian countries, all over the world, they was trying to buy something in Europe. They try to connect their money to the Europe, and you can't even imagine how big influence is this money brings to Europe. This is really not about Europe is producing for Europe. Oh, not really. And what happens right now? Right now, Europe say, okay, we can create sanctions not only for country, but for all citizens of this country. So if you are Russian in Europe, right now your bank account can be closed, you can be fired from the work, you can be, so many things can happen with you just because you was born in Russia. And this is not about Russian community. This is about that Europe right now, all over the Europe, they can choose some category. Today, this is a Russian people. Maybe after 10 years, it will be all Muslims, you know. After 10 years, it could be, you know, everybody with any parameter you can choose. So if you can do something bad to the people only because of who they are, where they was born, but not because of some criminal case, this is a very dangerous road. And again, elites all over the world, they are looking at this and say, okay, maybe Europe is not the best place for our money and our investment anymore. This is not a thing that will change everything tomorrow, but after 50 years, after 100 years, it can bring a huge difference.